welcome to Home of Politics. My name is Jamima. Today we are talking about the issue of coalition politics of Rigathi Gachagua and fellow politicians. And unless there is a formal agreement on the guaranteed strategy of power sharing framework, issue of political or balancing of seats in their alignment, then there is a predicted fallout that is going to be witnessed before 2027. This is not new in Kenya. It is because many coalitions failed before the elections and some failed after the elections because of these factors. Interest, things to do with personal interest or personal ambitions, mistrust, and issues to do with tribalism, bringing too much of your people on the table. These are the things that made previous coalitions to fail. And because this is something that can be repeated, then before I continue, if you're here for the first time, subscribe, like my video, comment, share. Do not forget to like my videos. And so, my good people, many examples of coalitions have failed because of these factors. And if Rigathi Gachagua and his camp are not very vigilant enough, then this coalition will split before 2027. And so, my good people, there is a recent lineup that have been given out on the positions and sharing of power in this coalition by themselves, between themselves, and there is a dissatisfaction somewhere that is showing that this coalition will fail. And so, my good people, the position of presidential flag bearer has been given to Fred Matiang'i. His running mate will be Kalonzo Musyoka. Then the Speaker of the National Assembly, this will be Martha Karua. Eugene Wamalwa, Speaker of the Senate. Rigathi Gachagua will be the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and finally, Justin Muturi will be the Attorney General. That is the lineup. And so, my good people, according to this lineup, it is really matching with that politics of Fred Matiang'i, because he is the one who is aspiring to be a presidential candidate. But if you keenly pay attention to his politics, he is not talking anywhere about the Kisii community. He is not talking anywhere about his community alone or a section of his people alone. But Matiang'i is doing a national politics. And so if you feature out his politics with that one of Rigathi Gachagua, then he might be a suitable presidential candidate matching with this lineup. But for Rigathi Gachagua, issue of prioritizing a certain community or a certain region in front, it is what is pushing him behind. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear the speech of Matiang'i, then you will understand better.
I want to be absolutely frank with you. I am here and I am interested in running because I believe that I will offer better management and better coordination of government than what we are seeing. And why? I said the other day in a TV interview that after 10 years of service as a minister, and the last 4 of them spent as coordinator of government activities, I understand government almost like the back of my hand. That you know what actually needs to be done. Kenyans are not looking.
Na yule mtu yote anataka kuwa rais. Tumesema kila mtu aende atafute kura zake. Kila mtu asanye zake. Pale mwisho next year, hapo after Christmas, tuketi tuweke kura kwa meza, tupige hesabu, tuulizane nani atapeperusha bendera as one candidate only against William Ruto. I am a front runner and I think I have the best chances to be president. But I want to give you a commitment. If the formula does not favor me to send Ruto home, I'll sacrifice my ambition and support whoever the formula favors.
The people who have spoke, you can hear Rigathi Gachagua as a leader who is trying to dominate the politics of opposition. He wants to be the final say. No one should oppose what he's talking about. This is bringing a contradiction in his politics, defining him as a person who has personal ambitions, personal interests, or a hidden motive towards doing the opposition politics. And this is what is making him to be mistrusted by a lot of people, because in every statement he's speaking, he must prioritize himself as the first person, to an extent that he's telling us he will go ahead and sacrifice his personal ambitions and interests to support another person. Then that one is a rhetoric or irony that is making us to wonder if he is very genuine. And so, my good people, Rigathi Gachagua is insisting on the formula of power sharing will depend on the votes that you will bring on the table and the mobilization, the strength of the mobilization in the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, sincerely speaking, this one he is drawing a calculation that will bring him as the final, as the alpha and omega in this opposition politics. This is because if the power sharing will be based on the ground of votes or the number of people that you've brought, then more obviously he is the suitable person. How is this possible? My good people, if you look at the mobilization power of Fred Matiang'i, then you can really see he is the flag bearer, but the mobilization in Akata, it cannot be compatible with his energy. First thing, his community, the total population, they are very few. They cannot be compared with other communities, and they range, I think, number 7, number 8 in total, following other communities ahead. And so communities like Luya, Kampa, Kikuyu, they are far much ahead than the Kisis, who are dominating Nyamira and Kisii and some other parts maybe of the Nyanza province. And so it is difficult. If it is the formula of bringing votes or number of people on the table, then Matiang'i, we eliminate him from being a flag bearer, because some of the population that is composed in the Nyanza region, this is Luo community and they are supporters of Raila Odinga. And so we don't think if they will support Matiang'i, this whole population. Another leader here, it is Rigathi Gachagua. This guy Gachagua is the one who is being targeted, everything to be centered on him. If it is population, he has the numbers. Because their community, there are millions and millions of people, so he cannot compare with the other politicians. If it is ground mobilization, for sure Rigathi Gachagua has done adequate ground mobilization. If it will be shared according to the votes, then he is sure that he will be the one who will be given this position. This leader called Martha Karua, even if she has done ground mobilization, then we know that she doesn't have any impact on the table, because if it is based on the votes, then why should she deserve that seat of maybe Speaker of the National Assembly? Because surely last time she was the running mate of Raila Odinga and she got very less votes, sincerely speaking. Now if it is based on the votes that you will bring, will she really have anything on the table during the sharing of power? Then this one will undermine the interests of these people in the coalition, and things will turn out to be very ugly. Other leaders include these leaders like Natembeya and Eugene Wamalwa. You can see they are leaders who are trying to mobilize votes in the Western region or Rift Valley. They are really trying their best. But if you look at the population of the Luyas, they are number 2 in population. There are very many, but their loyalty is not centered in these 2 leaders. So their stability in the ground mobilization, it is not guaranteed, because we have another 2 bullfighters called Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. They have not spoken anything to do with the ground mobilization for this Luya community to go in the government. And so it means the support of the Luyas towards Natembeya and Mudavadi is not 100% guaranteed, because there might be a disruption somewhere when Mudavadi and Wetangula decides to go and disrupt the ground. And so we are not guaranteed if these two leaders will deliver adequate votes to the table so that they can be given adequate seat or a good position during power sharing. And so according to this analysis, my good people, if you compare these leaders who have been put there so that they can be given shares or power sharing according to the votes that you bring, then it means that things will look ugly. It is just clear that Rigathi Gachagua wants everything to come on his side because he has votes, he has ground mobilization, he has adequate things that he can provide better than other leaders, and this is going to overturn the stability and the unity of this opposition. And if by any chance, or if these other leaders can remain very firm that I want this seat, and then someone comes and tries to overturn, then it seems that things will not be the same as usual. And so, my good people, then the sitting government can decide to divide this opposition very strategically. We know leaders who are being wanted very much in opposition by the government are clearly seen. If you look at the ambitions of Kalonzo Musyoka, he is a leader whom, if he has been taken by the government to work for the government, then strategically the unity of the opposition will not be as usual, it will be shaken. If you look at a leader like George Natembeya, if he can be convinced by the government so that he can work with William Ruto, then it means that the mobilization or the unity of opposition will not succeed. And so strategic division by the government before 2027, it is very, very highly seen, because of late there have been rumors Kalonzo Musyoka has been sneaking in the State House at night, doing meetings with the president, discussing their political progress. And so he comes during the day in the opposition saying Ruto one term. And so you can see factors like this one. They are making the opposition to go towards the failing direction, because these are hypocrites who are there uniting with Rigathi Gachagua with his selfish ambitions. And finally, my good people, this Wiper party, they gave out a statement telling us that Matiang'i cannot lead while Kalonzo Musyoka deputizes him, because Matiang'i is a child in politics. He cannot be having equal experience with that one of Kalonzo Musyoka. And so it means that there is going to be a total mess in this opposition if they do not strategize on the power sharing, on the ambitions that everyone is having, and other things, because these are the factors that have made several coalitions and alignments to fail in Kenya in the past. And so, my good people, thank you for watching. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.